We are live, I believe. Let me know. As usual, can you hear me? Can you see me? Also, I have the new setup, like the new overlay this time. Make sure, or I want to make sure, you guys can see everything fine. So let me know. Can you see like the draft board? Can you see everything? Once we actually get the draft in, I'll pull up the actual draft board, and then we'll hop into things. So let me know if you can hear, if everything's all good, and we will proceed. I'm going to tweet out the link to the draft. I'm going to post it in here as well, and we'll see if people will join. Also, great time. Ask your questions. Ask anything. You got a promo code for Underdog. It's on the screen. FFA. That's the promo code. Yeah, you get the deposit bonus. It's $100. It's $100 free dollars. Use promo code FFA to join and do it there. You can hear me. Thank you. A lot of static. I don't know. Sounds any different than usual? I'll check on this over here. We'll make sure we're using the correct microphone. Should be fine though. No, we should be good there. Let me know if it's like way different than usual though. A lot of mic static? Huh. Well, let me know if it's like way different than it usually is. I think we're almost filled though in the draft. Static. Well, I don't know how to fix that. I can reconnect. We'll see. Hold on a second. You guys aren't going to hear me at all in a second. Okay. Did that change anything? There'll be a delay for you guys, so let me know if it changed anything. Almost filled up here. We got 2 spots left. Yeah, I did just deconnect, but you guys are seeing this probably like 15-20 seconds after things like actually happen, so let me know. Still static. Worse? Oh my goodness. We got any tech gurus in here? Check out the stream settings. I don't think anything's different. Stream health is excellent, according to YouTube. Huh. I don't really know. Like, how bad on a scale of 1 to 10? I can't actually hear anything. Where are we? Oh, it filled. We didn't get our spot yet. No, I did do the unplugging. I can I don't even know. I can reconnect like other things. Not worse. Okay, well that's good. I'll reconnect something else. I'll try one more time. I'll pull this out. There's another plug I can like unplug, plug back in, and then we get into the draft. I am the 8th pick, so not too bad. Oh, I have to pull this up. Okay, now I don't really know what to do else if that doesn't work, if we're being completely honest. I could like restart the. Yeah, well, you guys can just ignore it, but we'll see. What? Yeah, I was gonna say you're not gonna see static if I disconnect. Well, you guys might just, if it's fixed, that'd be wonderful. But you might just have to deal with it. Perfect. Thank goodness. They would not let you put the promo code when you signed up. That field was locked behind a default promo code. That's weird. I would just email support if that happened to you. I can promise you Underdog is just going to give you the deal. So if you can't figure out how to put the promo code in or it doesn't let you, email their support. They have fantastic support. They won't give me anything, but I promise they will give you your bonus. So don't worry about that too much. Okay, now that we're dealing with that, I'll pull up the draft board after I actually make my pick. But we've got JT, McCaffrey, Cup. So Jefferson, Chase are gone. Eckler, Henry are gone. That's kind of unfortunate. So yeah, we're left in that like gross range where we're not attacking wide receiver here. We kind of have to take a running back. Yeah, not fantastic, but we'll just take our top running back. Not too much analysis needed there. There's the draft board for you guys. Yeah, that's a gross range because basically like you want JT, McCaffrey, Eckler, Henry. Those are like pretty clearly the top 4 running backs. Then you want Cup, Jefferson, and Chase. Pretty clearly the top 3 wide receivers. And then you get my pick, which is like basically I am going to pull it back up here. Like Mixon, Cook, Swift, Najee, Adams, Diggs. Pretty much all the same pick, and so I am definitely behind right now. It's not a spot I wanted to be in, but such is life with the 8th pick. The 8th pick can be good if like there's one person that reaches. Like I've seen, Jefferson or Chase go in those spots. I've seen like Henry or Eckler go in those spots. So it's not a great spot to be in, but it can be good if anything falls to you. All right, so we should be good with the sound. We should be good with the draft board. You guys can see. I'm looking at the screen over here. It seems like it's totally fine for like the layout. I'm not blocking anything, but please tell me if I am blocking anything. Mixon over Cook. Yeah, please. And ask the questions. We want to be talking about questions here. Isn't Cook bottom of that top tier? I guess, like I said, literally like Mixon, Cook, Najee, I think they're the same pick. They're probably difference in projection by like 1 to 2. I really don't think it's going to like impact your team all that much. I do slightly prefer Mixon, but sure, go with Dalvin. Like, I just don't think that's just a preference pick. Like just pick whoever you want at that pick. Like you're not losing your league because of that pick. I think both have the same upside. Both could be running back ones. I think the path there is a little bit tough for them. But yeah, I mean, I like the Vikings offense, at least from what I'm hearing about them kind of changing things up, playing a little bit more like a current offense. But I mean, the Bengals are also fantastic. So I really I don't think there's a lean. Maybe I can do a breakdown video on that, but I don't think there's a lean on that pick. Okay. Gross. So we're in another range where we don't really like at 17. We could go with Mark Andrews, see if we can do that sort of build. We could go with Aaron Jones. I don't want to take a wide receiver here, so it's probably between those two players. I think we already did a Mark Andrews build, so part of me wants to just take, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So here's our strategy. That's not going to be on the board next time. Our strategy right now for this build is we have not gotten the best value at running back. We've taken 2 that we feel fantastic about. What that's done is given us the ability to either A, completely abandon the position for a very long time and take 5 running backs total, or we can continue with taking these running backs, maybe take, it doesn't really matter if we take one like the next round, but like basically get 4 that we feel really good about and only draft 4 total running backs. It's risky, but it's a good strategy if you want to do that. Only take like, I guess tight end depends on when you get your tight end, but you could take 2. But basically you're taking 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, and you could either do 2 tight ends and 10 wide receivers. You could do 3 tight ends, 9 wide receivers. Those are both really good builds. Fortunately, with how our rankings work out, we're probably going to end up getting another running back in this round. But we'll see. I'll pull up the draft board again for you guys, and I'll go over to the questions. Yeah, Daniel Tice is bad. Yeah, I'm very well that Daniel Tice is honestly one of the worst basketball players like I've ever seen. There was a guy I always made fun of on the Bulls. He's not in the league. Cristiano Felicio, I used to think was like the worst basketball player I've ever seen, if you count like college players too. But Daniel Tice is up there. He is unbelievably terrible. So bad. Appreciate it. Andrews was, yeah. If I had more time, I feel like maybe Andrews is kind of the pick there. Also, because if we're thinking ahead to our rankings, I value the running back position. I value what you can do at the running back position, locking up a few that you feel good about, because then we can attack wide receiver through volume. Maybe we have worse wide receivers than someone with 7 of them, But if we have 10, we're just capitalizing on spikes that we see a lot at the wide receiver position. It's a good strategy. But if we had taken, pull it up here, this is why we do these, if we had taken Mark Andrews here, we're probably still going to get running backs we feel great about in this range, and then it would have allowed us to take a only 2 total tight ends and really maximize that value wide receiver. So I agree. I think that going with Andrews as this pick instead of Aaron Jones was probably better. But how about, can we pull ourselves out of the hole? We're going to go here. We have the option of going with Josh Allen. I had someone actually ask me in a video, they're like, why'd you draft Josh Allen if you didn't have Diggs? There goes Allen. I don't think those two things are, okay, we're on the clock. I'll save that thought for a second. So wide receivers. Fine, but not in love. I think we can get some with the next pick. Oh my God. Running backs gross. Would prefer not to do that. Kyle Pitts is an option. Do we just go with Pitts? All right, we'll go with Pitts, and we will continue with that same strategy. Actually, so we can do this. Pitts can be our one. We can draft 2 total tight ends. Maybe we're going to go with that 4 running back build, 10 wide receivers. We're going to hit that with volume. We're not going to have elite options, but we're going to have that variance. Anyways, with that Josh Allen take, someone asked me, like, well, you don't have Diggs, why draft Josh Allen? I wonder if this guy got the stack. He did not. You don't need the number 1 stack, right? Like, in that team, I had Shakir and I had Dawson Knox. It's totally fine to do that. So don't think that, like, I don't know, you can't draft Patrick Mahomes because you didn't get Kelsey to stack him with. You can still stack him with, like, Juju and Mecole Hardman and be totally fine. You're just looking for correlation in some degree. And as long as you pick that up in some way, even if it's like a tertiary option in the passing attack, that's still totally fine to do. You don't need the number 1 with the quarterback, especially if you want to just take like multiple guys late. It's a really good strategy. So don't lock yourself in and say, oh, didn't get Diggs, can't take a value on Allen. Because remember in that video, I got him at like 4 or 5 spots of value. No. If you're going to get someone at value, you can stack them with like their second or third option passing games. That's totally fine. Other questions. In my mind, Taylor's the best option, then McCaffrey, Eckler, Henry, and Dalvin as the next tier. I agree with you. Like, it's pretty clearly Jonathan Taylor at the top. Then you've got McCaffrey in like a mini tier below that. And then honestly, I think another mini tier down to Eckler and Henry. I think everyone can kind of agree on that. But then I see a clear tier break into Dalvin, into Mixon, into Najee. Like, that's just how I kind of view it. And I don't think any of them separate. But honestly, maybe I just need to do one of Thursday breakdowns and do those like 3 exact players. I don't think I've done any of them yet. So maybe that's in store. We're up again. This is like the fastest moving draft in the world. We do need a wide receiver. DJ Moore looks like a good value. I think Judy and Moore are good. Judy has the hamstring? He has some sort of like very, very minor injury that we're not too worried about right now. We could theoretically go double early tight end and make that like an edge that we gain. Edge at running back, edge at double tight end. It's probably not like preferred to do that. We could go with David Montgomery. I don't really want to do that, so we're not going to go there. Don't really want to do Mahomes. I think we can get better value. Oh, I kind of want to see. I'm curious about this build. This is definitely one that I have not done yet on stream. I'm curious how this is going to work out. So Waller and Pitts. It's also worth noting that, I know it's a minor injury for Judy. I'm not concerned about it. But hey, has been trouble staying healthy. So Tim Patrick late in drafts for sure. We've taken away Pitts and Waller, 2 players who could compete for like the number 1 at the position. Taking away that from everyone else in this league, they're going to have to scramble for other players. We've locked in both of our tight ends, so we're good about that late. I mean, every single week, we're going to have phenomenal value at the tight end position, and we can still use them in the flex. So I don't hate the pick. The team is not working out as we planned so far. I'll pull this back up. Again, optimal drafting. We should have taken Mark Andrews here. We would have been able to get... we probably would have taken Etienne probably in the 3rd round. So we'd have had Mixon, Mark Andrews, Etienne. don't think I would have drafted Waller if we had Mark Andrews, but I guess it's possible I could have. Could have changed up value. Maybe one of these players was different because everything kind of changes in the draft when you do something different. But yeah, we messed up not getting Mark Andrews. It's kind of having like a downfall for us for the rest of this draft. So I'm putting this away. Let's figure out what we're going to do in this next pick. We don't need running back, but if we're building a team that is unique in some way, we're not against it. That was basically take saving for if Dobbins was available at our next pick, we'd have grabbed him. But now we've hit that range of running back where I tanked basically in the rankings because the elite guys are gone. We're just done. We're done with that position. Mahomes is cratering in this draft. Obviously, we'll take him if he's available at the next pick. I don't expect him to be. 4 of these teams left don't have a quarterback, so he's going to come off the board. But it would be Mahomes. Obviously not George Kittle. At this point, I don't care what value tight ends get to. We're not taking a second tight end or third tight end. We would be in love with Deontay Johnson here. We're good with Chris Godwin. Obviously, you have that risk that he misses 3-4 weeks. I don't think that's going to happen, but there's obviously a risk that happens. He's now off the board, so we don't have to worry about that. There are 3 picks, 2 players that we want in that pick. 2 players we really want. After that, it gets kind of thin. Yeah, we're not going to end up getting it. Okay, so when someone takes Mahomes, we'll probably go with Allen Robinson. I'm not against that Allen Robinson pick. That's still like clear value at that pick. He is going to be obviously the number 2 on the Rams. Rams fantastic offense. I mean, you saw what Odell was able to do as the number 2. Allen Robinson is still very talented. I think Matt Harmon has finished his perception for some players, but not everyone. Okay, so Mahomes is still on the board. I think you just have to, at 56, take Mahomes. It's also pretty easy to stack with him. Yeah, we're just gonna do that. That value actually really makes up for what we've done before. Honestly, the team's coming together pretty fine, and we're set up here to go on a massive wide receiver run. But just finishing this take with Allen Robinson. Odell did fantastic. Allen Robinson, I think he's still a good wide receiver, but I want to see what reception perception has on him, because maybe there was a very clear fall off in talent last season. Now he's battling through injuries, but maybe there was that drop off in talent, and I need to reevaluate my take on him. But I still believe he's a very good wide receiver, and going to obviously a better situation. If he is as good as I think he is, he's a great value where he's going right now. But I kind of want to see that. But I would have obviously taken him if Mahomes is off the board. So we've got Mahomes, we've got Joe Mixon, we've got Aaron Jones. We can still attack running back here. We could go with Miles Sanders. I would say that it's unlikely I get Miles Sanders the next pick in this draft because a lot of these people are probably using the rankings. But if this was a different draft, there's no way I would draft Miles Sanders at 65 if his ADP is 80. I just wouldn't do that. It just, you have to try and get a value there, especially as a third running back. If it wasn't Sanders, I think we still have an option to use this strategy. If we end up getting a Kenneth Walker, a Chase Edmonds, someone like that, James Cook, and then kind of pair them with a Hines, a White, maybe Jamal Williams, Darrell Henderson, someone like that. I think we can still get the 4 running back, but I'm not locked into this 4 running back build. Okay, we're up. Obviously not quarterback. I wanted to deselect quarterback. Obviously not quarterback. Obviously not tight end. I think you have to just start attacking wide receiver. Oh, I should go with Juju. Even though he's not my top ranked wide receiver, ADP wise, big value. We know getting ADP values is probably the biggest indicator of success in best ball formats. And just saying, it's only a few down, stacking him with Mahomes, I just think you kind of just have to do that one. So I do like this start actually. It's interesting. I want to definitely evaluate the board after and see what we could have done differently besides Mark Andrews' pick, because maybe this was a massive mistake we're gonna regret later. But just saying that we knew we had to wait a long time for wide receiver, where you've put ourselves in a situation that we're going to take 1 billion of them coming up. Quarterback, I'm just going to take someone who doesn't have the same bye as Patrick Mahomes, like pretty late. I honestly don't care which one it is. There's plenty of guys. You guys know the ones I like. I'm fine with getting one of them, but I'm fine with even like a really low end option because I'm assuming if I'm going to win this league that Mahomes has a really good year and we're using most of his week. So we're going to get someone really late for that. Running back and wide receiver is definitely what we're looking at coming up. Okay. Devonta Parker, a sleeper. I took him in. Also, a quick shout out for Underdog. They have now implemented 12-team slow drafts for the low dollar buy-in. So this is obviously a fast draft. You have 30 seconds. The slow drafts, I always just join those because I much prefer them. You have 8 hours to make a pick, 10 hours if it's like the cutoff, like overnight kind of thing. They now have the $3 buy-in. That's the lowest buy-in for 12-team leagues. So you guys can join that. They finally did that. I joined one of those. Actually, it was like the mini, I don't even know what it's called. The $5 instead of the $25 like Best Ball Mania one. It's the $5 one. And I took, I think, 2 times Parker. So yes, I think Parker can be a sleeper. It is probably going to be Devonta Parker outside as like the X. Then it's going to be Myers, obviously, in the slot. And then I think Kendrick Bourne is probably the most likely to be that number 3. But my guess is that Parker's on the field pretty much every play. Obviously, I expect Mac Jones to take a step forward in this next season. He seems like he's having a really good camp. He is a good prospect. No, he's not an elite quarterback. I don't know yet if he's an elevator, like takes talent on the team and elevates them into really good players. I don't know that yet. But I know that he has a lot of potential. He's not some scrub. And if Parker is going to be the one, yeah, he's probably being undervalued. I moved him up. He's not like some screaming value. I'm pretty sure I moved him up to like slightly better than ADP, but I didn't move him up to like the 40th wide receiver or anything. Like, this is still the Patriots. They still are going to spread the ball around a lot. So we're at 80. Again, we're not doing tight end. We're not doing quarterback. We're just not even going to look at those positions. Drake London, huge value right now. So that's in consideration for us. You guys know I love Christian Kirk, but our number 1 wide receiver on the board right now is like a screaming value. So I don't really see a situation where we don't draft him. I don't even think we need to really evaluate anything else. Coming together. Okay. I'm looking if we had any, we have the mini stack. So we have Pitts and Drake London. The problem is I don't really want to go down here and draft Mariota because I still need, like, I don't know if he's going to be the quarterback all year. So that could have been an option for us if we knew. We don't know. And so I don't think I'm going to end up doing that stack, but it'd be interesting. If you were in like Best Ball Mania, I think you're doing that stack. You're taking the chance that like Mariota is the starting quarterback for the full season. But in a 12-team draft where it's much more, don't take like some massive risk, just like try and build a solid team because we're not trying to win $1 million here. In this sort of format, I don't think that would be very sharp of me to do. I think I should just figure out a different stack that we can make. Still no running backs. Like, running backs are way down here. And I'm totally fine with that because we got the 2 early. We're probably going to end up doing the build where we do 5 of them. So I think we're looking at wide receiver again here. Kirk, Gage, Burks. Burks having some issues in camp that his coach had to speak about. He's got asthma, basically. There's really not actually a ton of the story. He's got asthma. He's had an issue kind of staying conditioned, I guess. Not even staying conditioned. Maybe he wasn't in perfect condition when he entered camp. And then, well, when you have asthma, it just happens sometimes, where you have that like shortness of breath. And so had some problems staying on the field. Looks like he's doing better with it, not coming off the field as much. But obviously it's a concern. Like, if this is a continuing trend throughout camp, well, if he was going to be out there on 80% of plays and now he can only be out there on 60% of plays, like, that's a problem, obviously. I don't think it's going to be to that degree, but it's worth mentioning. So we've got another screaming value here if we wanted to take Treylon Burks. And as you can see, I have him just ahead of Robert Woods here. I almost want to do that. 104 is our next pick. We're not going to be, or is it really 104? Ugh. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take even more value. I think basically the thinking here is I know value is king in these formats, and I waited so long to take wide receiver that I want to just make sure I basically have gained a round of value back in taking them so late. Could have gone with Gage there. Gage is Gage at camp right now? I thought I saw some headline that like he's not. Someone confirm that for me. I'm not concerned about Gage though, especially if Godwin, takes a while early in the season or maybe takes a few weeks. Like Gage is going to go nuclear, and in this sort of format, he's being undervalued right now. So I love him as a pick. This is a thought. Wow, it's not going to be there, right? Well, it could be there actually. If we said we were 104, this is a thought. We grab Robert Woods here. It's a week 6 bye, so we're good with our Mahomes week 8 bye, and then we just plan on taking Tannehill. I do not think Malik Willis is going to be starting at any point this season. I think he's a long-term option. I think that he would need like a Tannehill injury. I don't think this is like a Mariota situation where the rookie comes in and takes over. This is Tannehill's job for now. So that is definitely going to be an option. Love the $5 puppy drafts. Yeah, it's so great because honestly, like I'm only in like 3 right now. You join those. They last you like a week, right? You just wake up in the morning, you're like, all right, where's my pick, right? Like they're just fun to do. You check your phone around lunchtime. You're like, okay, I'm on the clock in this league. You make your pick. There's no stress, right? Where you're just sitting there for like an hour, just like hyper focusing on everything. And you can still think about it because you have 8 hours to make your pick. So you can load it up and be like, oh, I'm on the clock in 2 leagues. Go over there, really think about your picks a lot more. Now, it does lead to a sharper draft. You're probably not going to get as many screaming values because people aren't sitting there with only 30 seconds to make a pick. But honestly, I just like them. I just think they're so enjoyable to do, and they're $5, right? It takes you the entire week. That is worth it to me. $5 for the enjoyment of doing a draft for the entire week. So I really like doing those. I recommend doing those. I think it's the perfect price point. And don't worry about if it fills up. If you're looking, you're like, oh no, it's already like X% complete. There's going to be like a ton of them. Whenever one fills, another one is going to finish up or start up. There'll be plenty of those throughout the off season. I would just like slowly do them. I absolutely love doing those. Okay. Who is your opinion of this year's Jamar Chase? Like you said, he'll be elite and drafted in the top 2. Yeah. Okay. I want to answer that question after I make my pick. We'll look up here. But basically, yeah, the question is like last year, like I don't think anyone in this year's draft class is Jamar Chase because like from a talent perspective, just being like a slam dunk pick, I don't think that's the case. But I think a better question there is who's a mid-round wide receiver that could be drafted in the middle of the first round next season? Who's kind of a player like that? I'm going to pull up the draft board and I'll list off some names for you there. But top option for us, we're up in 3 picks. Robert Woods, Kadarius Toney would be ecstatic to get either one of them. I feel very good about both of them. Honestly, don't think either one should be going this late. Odds are we end up with one of them. If not, we probably end up taking Tyler Lockett. Our wide receivers are falling. I'll pull up the draft board and also look at that in a second. Are people just not taking wide receivers right now? I mean, we're getting very, very lucky. We could have seen a situation where we abandoned the position for a while and then everyone was still hammering them out and we couldn't get any sort of value and been forced to reach. That would have been really bad. I'm wondering if I should take the huge value on Tyler Lockett and hope that, because this is the short end, right? This is the short end, so there's not that many picks between me and the next one. Lockett won't be there. Could Robert Woods be there? And I'd be fine losing him as part of the stack. Like, it really wouldn't impact me at all. And part of me wants to do it because what if they draft, what if they get Baker? What if Baker ends up getting cut? They do sign Baker. Lockett is a 5th round pick, probably a 5th round pick at that point. Do I think there's a situation where Robert Woods becomes a 5th round pick? No. So this is where the ranking is right now, just behind him in the rankings. But thinking upside, I mean, ton of upside. Now, it's a weird situation because I also think Deshaun Watson, it's not looking good. It is not looking good. I would be genuinely shocked if they come out here and they're like 4-game suspension. Genuinely shocked or less than that. I think there's no way it's a 0-game suspension. I'd be shocked if it's 4 games. At this point, if you had to give me a 50-50, it is more than 10 games or like 3 to 4 games. I'm taking more than 10. I really think they're going to like lay the hammer on this one. It is looking very, very, very bad for him. But I've been wrong before on these suspensions. Like I said to start the offseason, if you try and get into the mind of Roger Goodell, it is a losing battle. You will never, ever, ever be able to fully understand what is going through his mind. And so don't try and guess. But we're doing these drafts, so like we kind of have to guess. And so that relates to Lockett because let's just say it's a year-long suspension. Do they go back and say, well, we need a quarterback, and we actually were set up to win this season, or at least try and win, right? Not the favorites or anything. What if they keep Baker? Well, now we have Drew Lock, and now I don't love the Lockett pick, right? Because he's got Drew Lock or Geno Smith throwing the ball. But he's the best ball player because Tyler Lockett will go out there, and he will dud, but then he will have 153 scores with literally absolute garbage at quarterback, and that's what I want, especially on this team, where I'm targeting like 10 potentially wide receivers, probably going to end up being 9 because we're probably going to take 5 running backs. But if I'm targeting all these wide receivers, I'm looking for that weekly upside. I'm looking for the 4 games that Tyler Lockett goes nuclear. We're up again. Boyd's an option, but he doesn't really fit that mold of what I'm looking for here. So Golladay kind of fits that a little bit more. Garrett Wilson fits it. There's no running backs even remotely close in the rankings, so we just can't even go there. I think I'm going to take Golladay. What is that? I think I'm going to take Golladay. I think you could have gone Garrett Wilson. I think you could have gone Tyler Boyd. I was just saying Tyler Boyd doesn't fit that mold. Oh, I'm going to answer that question in a second. Tyler Boyd doesn't fit that mold because it's like he doesn't really spike. And so what's he doing for me? Like, I need spikes on this team. I don't really expect Lockett to spike or Boyd to spike. Just fine. Okay, the question was, who in the middle rounds for wide receiver in particular could be like a middle first round pick next season, could just go absolutely nuts and be a high end pick? Courtland Sutton is someone that comes to mind. He has played with trash quarterback play recently. He is a very, very high end talent. We know that Jerry Jeudy has struggled with health. If Jeudy goes down for like a few weeks and Sutton goes out there and he's the number 1 for Wilson and he's posting monster numbers, he's still young enough, he's athletic enough, he could be a guy where that happens. Gabriel Davis. That would require Stephon Diggs to no longer be on the team. I forget the contract situation of Diggs. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking that it runs out relatively recently unless he re-upped it, but that would be needed. You'd need Diggs to lead the team. If Diggs is on the team, there's no situation where Gabriel Davis is that high end of a pick. I don't know that Deontay could really do that. Metcalf, that could happen if outside quarterback play comes in. Basically, Seattle, that would be a 2024 take, though. That's the problem. Like, you'd need Seattle to tank to get a high-end rookie, but you wouldn't really be targeting Metcalf in the first round with a high-end rookie in the year 1. It would be year 2 because next year's rookie class is really good. It wouldn't be in year 1. It'd probably be the next year. So 2024, I could see DK Metcalf being like a mid-first round pick because of the chemistry they develop in year 1 and then going into year 2. Next year, unless they trade for someone, that is very unlikely. Juju. What if Juju just has a resurgence? What if Juju is as good as he was in his first 2 seasons? He's still very young. What if he goes off this season, gets a monster contract, and everyone's like, oh, wow, he's a very young athletic wide receiver who's had very much success in the past, was bad with like a decrepit Big Ben, and then goes off and now he's got Patrick Mahomes. Oh, okay, yeah, that's obvious. So that could be someone who's like a mid-first round pick next season. Devonta Smith, I don't really know if that would end up happening. Theoretically, Michael Thomas has that upside. We have seen him break the receiving record before, so he's obviously got the talent. I don't think that'll happen, but that is someone who it could end up happening with. Sky Moore, technically, but that's probably it. those are probably the names that I would go with. And if we're being completely honest, I'm not o'clock. Okay, good. I have a video coming out Friday that is literally answering that question, and you might hear those names again. Okay, I'll do this pick, and I'll try and answer some more questions. Oh, wow. We have seen a lot come off the board for wide receiver. So there goes the run. For running backs, Hines, but it's still way too early to take him. Again, we're not doing tight end quarterback right now. Gross. Oh, no. Well, we're going to have to just take someone. We have 4 seconds left. We'll take Dotson. That's not a good pick, I feel like. Yeah, that was a bad situation to find ourselves in. There were really no values ADP-wise. There were no players that I was like over the moon to draft there. Maybe the pick was Devonta Parker there. Maybe I do need to move him up a little bit higher. I think we've got some, like, it's weird. That was a range where it's like, I like some of these players. I like Wandale, Marvin Jones. I like Wandale. Parker, Campbell, Bourne, Tolbert. I like these guys. I just don't love them in the 11th round. So maybe we should have gone with Parker there, or maybe we should have gone with Hines. Just lock up that third running back, the pass catching specialist. I mean, that's probably what we should do at our next pick, actually, now that I think of it. Option to go with Madison. That wouldn't be a bad pick. Basically, Dalvin Cook doesn't work out. But it's tough. I prefer to have that as my 4th running back because I still want some sort of consistent production after Mixon and Jones. I don't know that Madison's going to have consistent production. I don't really want to take Gus Edwards. Could take Spiller. I think they're going to use Spiller relatively consistently. Okay, so we've got 3 options we could go with. None of these would be bad. Okay, I'd be fine with all 3 of these. I think we should take one of them. I don't think our team benefits by taking another wide receiver here. Let other people kind of grab these wide receivers. We've loaded up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them already. Okay. I feel good about that. I feel fine about grabbing Dotson. It was a reach, but I like the talent there. I'm starting to really come around on him. I think he's pretty clearly going to be the 2. And if, Samuel can't stay healthy, then it's going to get a lot of work. Takes Myers. Yeah, what is our next pick number-wise? 152. None of these guys are going to be there, so we should take our favorite, and our favorite is Hines. So I like how we have this. Mixon, Aaron Jones, wait a billion picks, Hines. Hines will provide us a weekly floor. He will not provide us that high of a ceiling, but it'll be a solid floor. Mixon and Jones give us that ceiling. We have the option still, I think, taking Hines to only draft one more. I don't really know who it could be, though, to make me comfortable in doing that. So I think we're going to take 5. Let's queue up our best options. Jamal, Gainwell, Brian, Carter, Pierce. Grab Carter. Darrell, Davis Price. Someone told me how to pronounce it. I don't remember. Algier, and Foreman. That's what I would say is, this is what we're looking at. We want 2 from this list. Honestly, don't care which 2 it is. The lean is obviously Madison, but I'm totally fine if he gets drafted. 2. Come over here. Top ranked running back doesn't go for a long time, so we should probably take another wide receiver there. I'll pull up the draft board. You guys can see how that's working out recently. I like that pick. I think the Dotson pick, maybe we'll revisit that one after. Okay. Questions. I predict this year's Jamar Chase is Sky Moore. I guess if you answer the question as had to be a rookie, yeah, sure. But again, if you restrict it to rookie, I just simply don't think any of them are even remotely on the same stratosphere of prospects as Chase was, and so I don't really want to do that. Diggs is signed to the next 6 seasons now. Let's pull that up. Spot track. And thank you for the super chat. You are helping me out here. enter Diggs. I can pull that up for you guys, actually. This is what you use for contracts, by the way. So spottrack.com, type in your player. This is a really good tool here. So technically he gets a 4-year, $96 million deal, $21 million guaranteed, or $70 million guaranteed, $21 million signing bonus. That's monstrous. You look down here. Of this money that's guaranteed at signing, his 2022 salary, 2023 salary, 2023 bonus. So there's no chance that in the first 2 years he's gone, and they're basically factoring in with how the contract is structured. The first time he can leave the team is 2025. So right there, Diggs is on the team for the next 3 years. Completely throw out Gabriel Davis being a high-end pick over the next 3 years, maybe long-term. But I feel like the ceiling, if Diggs is still there, Diggs is healthy, the ceiling for Gabriel Davis ADP-wise is like, if he goes nuclear this year, fourth round feels like the ceiling. I don't know that he can really go beyond that. But yeah, if you guys are ever wondering about contracts, you pull up the player here. This is the potential out year. That's when the team could kind of like save a lot of money by like releasing them or something like that. Assume that they're going to play out their contract through then. That's what you should assume. So we should assume Diggs will be on the team for at least the next few seasons. We're up in 2. Daniel Jones coming up here. That's one of the ones that we absolutely love. He matches up beautifully with pretty much anyone. He's got the best schedule in the league. We drafted Kenny Golladay. It's an easy stack for us. Does it benefit our team to draft anyone else so that we can get him in the next pick? My guess is unlikely, but let's do that. Yeah, if we were going to try and play the ADP game and like draft like Van Jefferson, our next ranked player at a huge value, is our team really that much better drafting Van Jefferson and hoping we get Daniel Jones? Probably not. So draft Daniel Jones. I think he's a great value this season. I believe in that coaching staff. I believe in the players. Honestly, Galladay's probably the one I believe in the least. I think Wan'Dale can be a great gadget player. I think Tony is a fantastic wide receiver. I think Barkley can be good this season. And I think Golladay is fine. I think he's a fine talent. And if he's going to operate as their clear X, then, well, I don't actually know. That's conventionally what you'd think would happen. But Tony's way better than Golladay, to be completely honest. But if he's going to be, a red zone threat for them, a consistent outside possession wide receiver, he's going too late. Pretty much all the Giants wide receivers are going too late. And so is the stack. So we've got it. Daniel Jones, Patrick Mahomes. We've got that stack sitting there. We're building out our running backs. We're building out wide receivers. We're done with just, the death lineup really at tight end. How many rounds? There's like 6 rounds left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 picks left. Okay. I don't think we need to panic yet at running back, but again, we wanted 2 of these guys and only 6 left, so only 4 people are allowed to take them. Corey Davis becoming a value. Wan'Dale kind of helps out with our stack and wouldn't be a bad player to pick, but it'd be a reach. I don't know that I would go beyond that, so I feel like those are the only 2 wide receivers we're taking. We're taking them over this range for sure. I don't think I would select these players. So I think it's Jamal, Kenneth Gainwell, Corey Davis, and Wan'Dale. I feel like my thing is, am I even that sure that like Jamal Williams and Gainwell are any better than Robinson and Darrell and Price and Foreman? I'm not even convinced of that. So I probably would have taken Corey. I feel like I might just take Wan'Dale and complete this stack. But if it ends up going, I guess I'll just go by my rankings and take Jamal. But yeah, I feel like my team is better off if I do this. Now I've got Golladay, Robinson, and Daniel Jones. I've got Mahomes and Juju. Excuse me. I'd like another stack. Is there anyone left? I don't think you can sort by team. Ooh. That would be nice. No guarantee that Justin Ross makes the team. But if he does, and if he can stay healthy, he's got the upside to be maybe not an every down receiver. I don't know if that's the case. He's got upside. Very, very clearly talented. I honestly did not think he'd go undrafted. I thought even if only a few teams medically cleared him that they would take a shot. But I think basically word probably got around that not everyone medically cleared him. And so it was easy for teams to just not spend a draft pick, sign him. But he's so good. He's so good. Can he stay healthy? Or like, it's not even stay healthy. Like, I feel like people don't understand. Like, it's a literal, like, he had like a, I don't even know how to describe it. It was like a condition, I guess you could say. I don't know. I don't know the full details. I'll pull them up for you guys. I'll pull them up over here. All right. Because it's so weird because it's not like, oh, he like tore his ACL, right? If he tore his ACL, if he tore his patella, like he did something like that, teams wouldn't be scared to take him. Like that's not what it was. Okay, doctors found a rare condition in his vertebrae that required surgery. They performed a congenital fusion which kept him away from football for 18 months. So like it's like basically teams are like, can we put him on the field? Is that okay to do? Like that's the question. And I don't know the answer. I am not a doctor. Like I have no idea if he's going to be able to play, but I know he's talented. And if he's out there with Patrick Mahomes, he's got a lot of upside. So that completes our stack. We'll like that. I wouldn't be against doing Curtis Samuel, honestly, even having Jahan Dotson, just basically being like, hey, I don't know which one of you is going to be the two. I think it's Dotson, but it could be Samuel, or you guys could just kind of like switch off weeks. And I don't care if you switch off weeks. If this week's Dotson, that week it's Curtis Samuel. I don't care. All I'm doing is taking a bunch of wide receivers and trying to capture upside. And so if you guys are splitting weeks, go for it. I don't have to take Ross. I moved him to the top because we were talking about him. I actually think Ross would be way down here. I think it would be much better to our team, even though I like him, to get two of the wide receivers I have on the screen right now ahead of him, or two of the running backs ahead of him, then take Ross. But good with Paris Campbell, Kendrick Bourne, Curtis Samuel. Would love it if we didn't have to go past that range, but fine if we have to. Let's pull up some question here. Let's see. Yeah, wasn't it a spinal condition? Yeah. It's like, it's just, I can't remember that. You know, it's like, I feel like if I had like a medical background, I'd be able to remember exactly what this is. It's easy to remember, oh, you had a torn ACL. It's not easy to remember like a spinal condition and whatever that fusion thing was. I don't know what that means, but I read about it and it doesn't sound like amazing for his long-term success. Do we think we can get a better value? Because I feel like price won't be on the board, so we're going to do that. Price won't be on the board. We'll see about Jamal. Also, I'm kind of lost. I don't really know how to value price. Like, how many touches is he going to get? Someone give me a guess on the amount of touches you think Davis Price gets in the first month of the season. So let's say Mitchell, what was he even getting last year? Mitchell on each game. Let's pull up. How long do we have for this pick? We don't have that long. I'll put it up to the side and I'll bring it over here when we're ready so I can actually like see. So we get Elijah Mitchell. Yep, definitely just typed in Elijah Moore. Mitchell. Oh my God. There we go. Elijah Mitchell. Let's pull up his game logs. I'll do it after this pick. But I'm trying to figure out, like, if they rotate in another back, which they want to do, what is a realistic, like, expectation for Price on a weekly basis? My, like, initial guess is that he sees 7 to 10. Does that feel realistic to people? Or do we think he pushes further than that into low teens? Do we think it's only like 5 to 6? My guess is 7 to 10, but I want to kind of look up that in a second. So we have the 4. We can get Jamal at this pick. How many picks do we have left? 3 after this? 3 including this. Oh, Jamal goes. Okay. So Brian Robinson. I don't think we need to take Justin Ross, but maybe we should. Because I don't care between Brian Robinson and Foreman, but I think Brian Robinson also mixes in. It's really good for our build here. Let's take Ross. Let's do it. Let's be bold. Let's take him. We only have 2 picks left. We don't really care about which wide receiver we get late. Let's finish this stack. All right, so I'll bring Mitchell up. If you guys don't know, this is Pro Football Reference, best source. Type in names, get information, especially this fantasy option here. It's fantastic. But if we look at last season, when he's healthy, I mean, look at this. 21, 21, 22, 27, 27. And what's the snap counts aren't even like crazy. Basically, just when he went in there, they gave him the rock every single time. When we're looking at that, though, remember that they hated Trey Sermon. They tried to use Jeff Wilson. He looked like he was unbelievably terrible. Like, they had no options. And so if they go into the season liking Davis Price, I think it's a completely situation where they're not just like going all at Elijah Mitchell. They're giving a lot of touches to their backup, which will be Price. And so if this late in the draft, even if he's only getting 7 to 10 touches a game, he's going to score sometimes. He's going to provide some sort of weekly floor. He's going to give me something. And so I'm thinking right now, do I go with the 4 build? I love Mixon. I love Jones. And I've got 2 backs that'll give me consistent production. So when those guys dud, we're going to get something. And we can rely on them for the most part. And since we went so long at wide receiver, since we took 1 billion rookies, like, we need volume here to make up for that. And if I'm sitting here, like, I feel good about my quarterbacks, I'm going to crush everyone in this league at tight end and sometimes get this into the flex option. Do I just roll with these 4 running backs and just try and get more? Because I know there'll be so many weeks where like Burks and London and Dotson and Wandale, like, they don't really do anything. And Ross might not even make the team. Like, I need this sort of depth at wide receiver. But I think this strategy can work out if we go that way. So I think that's the option that I'm going to go with. ETR's got great content, and also the guys at Awesome are good. Yeah. I would say if you're looking elsewhere in the industry, best podcast is ETR. The only podcast I listen to personally is ETR. I started listening to Silva and Levitan when they were like not in a company together, when Silva was at Roto World and when Levitan was doing like Fantasy Lab stuff. They came together. That's a fantastic company. Is it expensive? Yes, but the podcasts are free. So if you're not looking to like spend money on it, great podcast, stay informed. They don't do them as frequently, but good information, really good information there. But obviously, yeah, it's an expensive site. Okay, do we go with Campbell or do we go with like Campbell? Guys, if Campbell stays healthy, he's going off this season. Off is a use that term loosely. He is not going to be a wide receiver too, but he's going to be used heavily from the slot. He's going to have potentially a high weekly floor, pretty good ceiling. He's going 200. Come on, guys. Paris Campbell should be a 15th round pick, in my opinion. He needs to be going earlier than that. So we have our let's pull up our build here, 2-4-9-2. So we have that option of finishing. Do we go with running back? Do we go with receiver? I'll make that pick at the very end. If I went with running back, Mostert, Damian Williams, Pierre Strong, I just don't think that gives us Haskins. I just don't think that helps us enough. I'm going with a wide receiver. But yeah, just going back to that, Osimo, definitely like them, but that is much more DFS. So if you guys are going over to watch Osimo content, heavily tailored towards DFS, phenomenal NBA product. When I did DK for NBA, I used Osimo. Amazing projections there. Use it with, if you use Fantasy Cruncher and their projections and you're ready from like 5 to like 8 every night to do NBA DFS, you're going to win money. That's just how it works. Season long, I can't really vouch for them because I don't know the product, but DFS, very good. Though if you're doing DFS for football, which most of you would do, I don't personally look at that content. I look at the 1 week season. That's something you guys should really look up. That is the, is it the Edge, the weekly Edge? That is the single best piece of content in the entire industry. So it would be the 1 week season, then any like podcast ETR puts out there, stuff like that. Those would be like the two that I would personally look out if you're like looking to expand outside of like this content, which you should be. You should have multiple viewpoints of everything, but the 1 week season is phenomenal, and it's not super expensive. It's for being a DFS site, not super expensive. Obviously, I got in like years ago, and I got to lock in my price, so that's been nice. But phenomenal, phenomenal product. Last pick here, we probably should have been paying attention more. I don't want to go with a rookie. I have too many rookies on this team. I'm gonna end up getting auto picked, aren't I? All right, let's just make sure I end up going with the rookie. Let's just make sure that we don't get autoed to who would have been. Would have been Byron Pringle. All right, whatever. We'll pull this up here. Let's see. Any other questions? Awesemo NBA projections are the best. They are. They honestly are. No other questions really. All right. Nice. Well, ask something. You're going to get it answered if you ask right now. Let's pull up. What do you think about Ronald Jones' breakout potential in CH? I think you hit it. You hit the nail on the head there. Potential. Yeah. What if CEH has an ankle sprain in week 2? High ankle sprain in week 2, misses some time. Are you going to tell me that Ronald Jones isn't going nuclear? So I 100%. There we go. I'll go over this in a second. I'll finish that take. Maybe I'll answer some questions too here. He's going nuclear, Ronald Jones. If CEH gets hurt, has some sort of like high ankle sprain, something like that, Ronald Jones is going off. There's no other competition on that roster that's going to have him for touches. And he's a good running back for if you use him correctly. You can't go out there and ask him to pass block a ton. You can't go out there and ask him to be a receiving back. But if you just want him to get 15 to 17 carries a game, use him at goal line, be on an offense that's really good and teams aren't focusing on stopping the run, and you're okay with some fumbles, some missed blocks, and not putting him in pass protection, he's a really good running back. Why CEH fits the team more is like maybe he's not as good of a pure running back, but he's so much better in the receiving game, and he's like just a better overall running back that they should feel more comfortable using him in those situations. But yes, potential for Ronald Jones is absolutely there. I think he needs an injury for it to work out, but so does everyone. Where is he going in drafts? So does literally every running back that goes as late as he is. My guess is, it's this range, right? Yeah, 12th round. Find me a 12th round running back that can go nuclear without an injury. Obviously, Spiller needs an injury. Pierce, technically, you could say yes, but it's probably going to be some sort of rotation. I still think people are kind of being pretty optimistic on him. Madison needs an injury. Herbert needs an injury. Robinson needs an injury. Like, that's the same thing for everyone. So using a case against Ronald Jones to say, oh, well, CH is there. It's like, yeah, well, so is that with everyone else here. So, yeah, I think he is a good pick that late. How early are you willing to reach on Hurts this season? I'm not willing to reach on any quarterback. Like, I just think quarterback is so deep, and we have such a wide range from that strategy video. It's what, I don't remember off the top of my head. It's like around 6 through 9, right? Like in that kind of general bucket, you've got 4 rounds in a redraft league. This is Underdog. It's way different. Read a different article for that one. You've got such a wide range that you can draft someone in that like you have so many opportunities to get value. Why would you reach on any quarterback? There's so many really good quarterbacks. Don't wait and get Zach Wilson as your quarterback one and be like, oh, I was waiting for a value. You still got to get someone. But to answer the question, like how much are you willing to reach? No, I'm just not willing to reach on any quarterback. I want to be getting a value. Let's see. Review best team. Do you review who I think the best team is? And Darrell Williams definitely also has a lot of upside. Cup in the third. I think, didn't you email about this? You emailed me about this, and I answered you in the email. I said Chase in the 7th, but it's a fantastic shout out. On the website now, can you actually... I don't think you guys will be able to see that. Hold on. I'm going to pull up something for you guys. So what people have access to now, and if it shows you too much, I might have to. All right. Oh. What can you guys see right now? Let's see. I might have to change something over and give you a new link. I have to wait for the stupid delay to happen though. Come on. About 3 more seconds. Beautiful. You can't see it. All right. So this is available to people who have access to the website now. It is a calculator. So if you put in that question, would I rather keep, go away here, would I rather keep Cooper Kupp in the 3rd round or Jamar Chase in the 7th round? What should be clear, I think, is Chase. Chase is a better value. If we're looking at the value of the player itself, well, Kupp is better. But the value of a 7th round pick is negative 0.42. The value of a 3rd round pick is 3.69. And when you take the difference, you are gaining more value by keeping Chase. That is exactly how I think about all of these keeper questions and how you should be as well. Of course, this would be a league where, in a keeper league, let's say you draft someone in the 7th round, that might be a 7th round penalty if you keep them the next season. The next year after that, it might be a 5th round, then a 3rd round, then a 1st round, then you can't keep them anymore. So that's kind of that question. But I get these questions so often. So if you have access to the site, you can do that now. You can check out like every single decision you want. Okay, let's go to the best team, and then I'll go back to these questions. I don't even know where to start. Did anyone like say who they thought the best team was? No one did. Okay. Let's look at team 1. Jonathan Taylor, Barkley, Singletary, Pierce, Foreman, nice. Solid wide receivers, has a Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen stack. That's good. Good with tight end. Love it. Nothing jumps out to me, but it's like a good build. We've got a pure running back build. McCaffrey, Chubb, Dobbins, and Mitchell. Maybe went a little too heavy here. So you took McCaffrey, you took Chubb, you took Dobbins. You've got a lot of draft capital at running back. You took Mitchell. You could have stopped there. You took Walker. You should have stopped there. You took Mark Ingram. What is Mark Ingram doing here? Like, if for you to win this league, you need these other picks to work out. I would have saved this Mark Ingram pick for just another receiver, right? You've got a lot of rookies too. Dobbs, Tolbert, Bell. Like, I would have just taken another shot at wide receiver because you only drafted, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. I would have rather drafted the 8th instead of Mark Ingram. So I would have done that instead. Let's see a tight end build. Early tight end. Kelsey. All right, so we got our Dalvin Cook, Kelsey. This could have been me, honestly. I could have taken Dalvin Cook here, and I could have taken Mark Andrews. So what did they do? So they went wide receiver heavy. Nice. Williams, Moore, Allen Robinson, Bateman, Brandon Ayuk. Love it. I have absolutely no problems with any of that. Comes back to running back. Tony Pollard, Melvin Gordon, Khalil Herbert, Jamal Williams. Nice. Drafts 1 tight end after Kelsey, and that's Ingram. Totally fine with that. Grabs Pickett, okay, with Wilson and Fields. I don't know that I would have gone with Pickett here. I'd say that's the one mistake. I don't think you're like lacking anywhere, and so it was kind of probably a throwaway pick, just like being like, hey, I don't need this position. But I think wide receiver maybe. I know you had this huge run, but you just need so much production from wide receiver in these. And like, I just would have probably taken, take Thornton, take Shakir, take Zay Jones, Laviska, Byron Pringle, like Julio, like literally anyone who just went in the last round. I feel like that person's going to provide more value to your team. But I get it. Having Fields, having Wilson, you probably just don't feel comfortable with them. I don't believe in 3 quarterback builds. I just think long term, if we do Underdog for the next 20 years and we finally get like what's optimal, like for sure, I don't think 3 quarterbacks can be optimal. I just think using that extra spot to do something at running back or wide receiver is more valuable in my opinion. Is this another 3 quarterback build? Yeah, another 3 quarterback build. Burrow, Derek Carr, Mac Jones. You're probably gonna be too thin. Adams and Diggs, Jameson Williams, Chark. Yeah, so you're too thin at wide receiver. Because you took all these quarterbacks early, you have Adams and Diggs. Phenomenal. But you have to start, I believe, 3 of them every single week. Williams might not start the season healthy. Odell's definitely not starting the season healthy. Mechie's probably not starting the season healthy. So you've got Green, Chark, Diggs, and Adams to start the year. It's just so thin. And you did that waiver. So, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about those. Let's go over to you like Team 12? I just don't. I don't think it's sharp to be taking all those players. Let's go back here, though. And then other questions. In Dynasty, would you do Devontae plus a first in 2022 for Cup? Devontae. Like Parker? Who would... tell me the last name. You did not email me. Someone had the literal same question as you then. Someone was choosing between Cooper Kupp and Jamar Chase, and I'm pretty sure it was in those same rounds. Maybe it was off by like 1 or 2 rounds, but that's wild then. Although, I guess that makes sense. I mean, a lot of people probably drafted Chase last year, so they'll have a lot of questions about getting him in the middle rounds. I honestly don't know. Oh, Smith. It's got to be Devonta Smith. No, it's Devonta Smith. You said Devontae. Tell me what Devontae that is. If it's Parker, no, I want Cup. Someone said they second a question. The CP question. People thought Cordero Patterson was going to repeat. He'd go much earlier, so clearly they don't. What's the deal with him? What changed to make him drop down so far? That's a very interesting question and one I don't fully have an answer to. Obviously, they have other people now. So they did bring in some running backs. And, we were very against Mike Davis last year. Maybe I should have put that together and say Patterson was like a good pick late. I was not on Patterson last season. Didn't understand the like mega hype towards the end of summer on Mike Davis. But now they like have some other running backs. They drafted the rookie whose name I can't pronounce. They've got Williams. There have been comments by the team, and I guess we'll find out more in camp. There's been comments about the team about shifting him more to just like a pure wide receiver role, which if they did that, well, now he's behind Pitts. He's behind London. He's got either Mariota or a rookie throwing the ball. So the odds that he gives you production, even listed as a running back, as a pure receiver, is small. And so you need him to have that role he had last season. And he's old. How old is Patterson right now? He's over 30, right? And people just don't like taking older players. I mean, that's just 31. He's over 31 years old. So I think that's kind of why. But he's someone you could definitely see skyrocket in ADP if it comes out that they are going to keep that role for him. I just think people are kind of assuming they're not going to. But no, it's a good question. Like that's why he's lower. Is he's 31 years old. They have other running backs now, and they've made mention of using him more in the receiving game, which isn't great. Everyone is like thirding and fourthing that question. No, it's definitely like a concern. It's also just the team's not going to be that good. Like Matt Ryan did what he could last season. They're obviously going to be much worse this year, and they weren't that good last year. So it's not a great situation. But yeah, I think we're going to get more clarity on that team. There's a Breece Hall question. Is Breece Hall going to be the workhorse you think? I haven't heard much noise about him, but I'm intrigued to take him. So I actually have Breece Hall a little bit overvalued right now. It looks like in this draft he did not go where he goes on average, obviously because again a lot of people in this draft are using the rankings. I can't remember. Let me pull up what the website has for ADP. That'll just be like an easier reference for me. I'm slightly overvalued, so on average he gets taken a little bit earlier than we'd like because I am projecting some work for Carter. So Brees Hall's ADP. My mic's in like the worst spot. His ADP is running back 18. I have him at 21. I kind of like that range. I think that they're going to mix in Michael Carter, especially to start the season. But Brees Hall is obviously better than Michael Carter. He's better at everything, which is the problem for Carter. He's better in the receiving game. He's better on the ground. He'll be better at the goal line. He'll just be better at everything. I love Michael Carter. I think he's a great talent. But I think he's a great talent who's going to be very much phased out of the offense, especially if they like start humming and they really want to use Hall. And especially if they use such an early pick on him that they kind of, want to show that the pick was good. So I do think he will. Maybe it's a situation where in weeks 1, 2, 3, you draft him because I think his ADP is more in the third round. You draft him in the third round, you're like, this isn't working out, right? This is still the Jets. They're still led by Zach Wilson. They're not scoring very much, and they're rotating in, the back, and you're a little frustrated because you spent a third round pick on him. But if he, I think more middle of the season, end of the season, it's going to be pretty clear he's the best running back on this team. They're going to use him more. And then you're going to be like, oh, okay, that's why I took him so early. I just kind of think I get into this range and I see Brees Hall, and I usually just don't do it. I think fourth round is fantastic, but also this is Underdog. You're going to have these heavy ADPs at running back early on here. In redraft leagues, you're going to continue seeing that heavy running back in rounds 3 and 4 where you see a pullback on Underdog. So if we're looking here, guys like Chase Edmonds, Miles Sanders, Gibson, Mitchell, Clyde, we're going to kind of see them shift up a little bit once like redraft ADPs really start coming out in August, because teams are not going to do this right here. That is not something that's going to happen in a redraft league. In Underdog, it's optimal to be hammering out these wide receivers. In redraft, it's not necessarily. I mean, it can be, but it's not necessarily. And so you're going to see teams really filling in running back. And when more teams fill in running back, everyone's ADP just kind of shifts up a little bit higher. And so I can see Brees Hall always being a third round pick. And I don't know. I just don't know that I'm going to be clicking the button there. But I think he's supremely talented, best running back in the draft class. Walker's a better early down back, but for pure running back, pure overall running back, Brees Hall is better. You like Brees Hall more in redraft than best ball? I mean, I guess I would say I haven't been drafting him at all in best ball. I guess in redraft, yeah, you're just trying to get a running back that you feel comfortable with. Maybe they do mix another back, but any running back getting 15 to 18 touches a week is going to be very valuable in redraft, maybe less valuable on Underdog because the spikes might not be there on the Jets. So I guess I can understand that take. Drop a like, guys. Yeah, definitely drop a like. 26 likes on here. What are we doing? We've had 495 unique people join the stream, and we're at 26 likes. Come on, guys. We want this to, I guess you guys might not want it to circulate more. And realistically, it's fine because you make $3 on these streams. The streams don't make any money, so we don't need them circulating a bunch, but drop a like. It makes me feel better. Would you take a flyer on DeAndre Hopkins in your draft? Flyer, yes. Pick, no. I thought I saw Hopkins on the screen 2 seconds ago. He's got to be in this range, right? Hopkins, there he is. 7th round. 7th round, I think that's fine. It's a 4-game, 6-game. It's a 4 or 6-game suspension. Actually, now I forget which one it is. Again, like I said, flyer, yes. I think that he's going to be perfectly fine when he returns. But I also think Marquise Brown is better than Christian Kirk. And we already saw Hopkins starting to decline. And so I think when he comes back, he provides you 5th round value. And so if you can get him in the late 11th round, you can survive until the suspension is over. Yeah, I'm cool taking a flyer. Personally, I don't think there's been a point in a draft so far on Underdog, because I haven't obviously done a redraft league yet, where I've been should I take Hopkins here? I don't really think it's happened yet. And so I haven't been taking the flyer. But yeah, flyer's fine. 6 games, yeah. It's tough 6 games because there's the 17-game season now. Obviously, you don't play week 17. So then you move back even more. And so you're looking at like a week 13 because you have 14, 15. No, you have 15, 16, 17 is playoffs. So you're looking at 14 weeks for like the fantasy season. 6 of them you don't have those players. Now you have 6 on, 6 off, 8 on. It's tough. It's just really, really tough to take that 0. So if he remains in the 7th, 8th round, that's fine. If he creeps any earlier than that, like, I don't know. I feel like I'd rather just take, like, Thielen. I'm going to take Thielen every single time over DeAndre Hopkins. I'm not even 100% sure Hopkins will outscore Thielen when he's playing, and he's guaranteed to miss at least the first 6 games. Give me Thielen every single time. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's got to be flyer territory. One more draft? No. I feel like I cannot do the 2 drafts because then I end up talking for like 2 hours and 15 minutes straight, and I have to record pretty much every day, and that just absolutely destroys me for recording in the next morning. So no, we will not be doing another draft. Makes sense, hopefully. I don't know what I said before to answer your question, but good. Chubb is a great value in the 3rd. Yeah, he is. Did he go in the 3rd round? Where? I don't even see his name. No, he didn't. He went in the 2nd round. But yes, Chubb in the 3rd round is a phenomenal value. Unless, like we talked about earlier, what if Watson does get just hammered with like a full year suspension? Well, now he's not as good of a pick because are they going to go back to Baker or are they going to get someone else in there? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, are we going with like Brissett? Brissett's the backup right now, right? You want a full season with Brissett at quarterback? Not in the 2nd round, I don't think so. Depends. Let's see. I don't know if there's any other. Dubs is super talented for a player who doesn't even get drafted in some drafts. No, I agree. If you take Aaron Rodgers and you're not stacking him with Romeo Dubs, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, he should be going in drafts. He did go in our draft, 16th. I think because I have him ranked high enough to where he's going to go in all these drafts. But yeah, Dubs is talented. Watson has those drops. Again, we're not super concerned about the drops. But yeah. Last question, I think. Any busts or avoids at current ADP in the first 2 to 3 rounds? That's got to be coming up as a video. But it's not this week, because this week's the highest upside players. But that's got to be coming soon. All right. First 2 to 3 rounds. Bust potential. Technically, Tyreek Hill has bust potential, changing teams. But with how they're talking about him, I'm not concerned at all. I think everyone else is more concerned with how they're talking about this kid. He is like an alpha on this team. Now, I think Waddle's fantastic, and Waddle's still going to get a ton of looks. But this team is in love with Tyreek Hill, and he's going to be used heavily. I'm not concerned. Theoretically, A.J. Brown, but, I mean, Hurst loves A.J. Brown, so I'm not super concerned there. I was just looking at wide receivers right now. I don't see. I guess Cooper, if Watson gets suspended and he's looking at like Brissett or Baker for the whole season, he could bust in a 3rd round ADP for sure. Running back, probably a little easier to say. Cam Akers, does he even like recover fully from this injury? Is he not the same anymore? Is he highly inefficient? And they kind of go back to switching between him and Henderson, in which case, no. James Conner, does Williams get a lot more work than we're thinking? Could be. Is Zeke just bad now? I think the answer to that is no, but is Zeke just bad now? That can happen. Leonard Fournette, I think he'll still get plenty of work, but does Rashad White start to take over a lot more? That's potential there. Barkley could just be dust at this point. Like maybe he just is. Watson could be suspended for the whole year for Chubb. Kamara could theoretically be suspended. I don't think there's a case for any of these 1st round running backs. Everyone you see on the screen in this 1st round, the argument against them is very thin. They're great players. And then tight ends, I don't see an argument against any of Andrews, Kelsey, or Pitts. I think they're all just rock solid picks. And honestly, Darren Waller as well. Do we like our team? That's actually the last thing that I'll close with. Do we like how this worked out? So we got Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, Nyheim Hines, Davis Price. Okay. We have this double. I'm so interested to see how this team works out. And this is something we should revisit in the offseason. Because this is the first time I feel like I've done like a Pitts Waller stack Mahomes, Daniel Jones. I actually like the team. Obviously, wide receiver's thin. I like the upside, but wide receiver could be the downfall of this team. We need other positions to really, really benefit too much there. But let me know what you guys think of the team. It's very, very unique. We'll say that much. Okay, that was enough. If I didn't get to your question, hold on to it. We'll be back here next week. We'll answer a bunch of questions then. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be Wednesday. So tomorrow is draft strategy. So we have the tight end. It's going to be optimal draft strategy for the tight end position tomorrow. Thursday, we're going to have Zeke versus Jacobs versus someone. I have to record it tomorrow. I don't remember that. Oh, David Montgomery. Zeke, David Montgomery, and Jacobs. That's me the breakdown there. Friday is going to be players with the highest upside. So that'll do for this one. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching, guys.